I mean, let's be fair, like this is just an excuse for me to play all my guitars. Welcome to episode 1 of Guitar Talk. This is a series where I'm going to review every guitar in my collection, give you some pros and cons, tell you the story behind how it came to be part of my collection, hopefully give you some insight into if these guitars are any good or not, if they're worth your money or not, and just play some fucking nasty chugs, hopefully. In this episode, we're going to look at this weapon. This thing that looks like you could like ride over the mountains of fucking Mordor into battle with and kill a bunch of orcs with. This is the Soda Guitars A1.6 Artist Distressed something or other. I'll put a link in the description. As you can see, this is like a bare wood distressed finish. So the first thing to note is this guitar is quite unique in terms of the finish is like intentionally kind of fucked up. So there's like marks in the wood, there's scratches. I'll try and like show the camera that, and I'll try and crop it and give you some close-ups. So it's not meant to be like a pristine, pretty kind of guitar. Like it's meant to be look like a lived-in, almost relict look, and that extends even to the hardware. The Evertune bridge is like a distressed metal. The volume pots are the same, even the nut that goes around the pickup selector is the same as well. It's a really, really cool concept, especially for a guitar that could potentially be like a stage beater, you know, like something you play live, something that it doesn't really matter if it's going to get dents or anything like that in it. I personally really like the look of it. So a little bit of a story about how I came to be in possession of this weapon. So I was going through one of those phases. I'm sure we've all had it where like we say to ourselves, right, no more guitars now. I've got enough. I don't need any more. At best, if I want another one, I'm going to sell one in my collection. That's it. And that phase usually lasts about 30 seconds. So I made the mistake of having said that to myself. I carried on looking on eBay, Reverb, like all the usual suspects, because I don't really know a guitarist who doesn't like a little bit of window shopping. So I made the mistake of seeing this on eBay, and I'd already owned 2 other Solar Vs by this point, which I'll do other videos on. So I saw it and I was like, oh fuck, I really like that finish. Like, I'll just watch it in my eBay watch list. And for some reason it didn't sell. Like it was already a really good price. It was already significantly under like what it retails for, and it said it was, you know, like as new. It was only like 3-4 months old at this point. And so it got relisted, and it got relisted like even cheaper. And I was like, oh, fucking classic, like the way you justify it in your head. I was like, oh, I can't afford not to buy it then, at that price. But even so, like I didn't have much money at that point. Like this was kind of like towards the end of COVID lockdown. So I stuck in like a really fucking insulting like lowball offer on it, on an already cheap guitar, which I thought I would just get told to get lost on. And the guy accepted it on the condition that I drove up to where it was to pick it up. So I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, what? I mean, I won't tell you what I paid for it, but less than half what the retail is. Like, significantly less than half. This guitar retails at like 1,200 quid. So I was like, fuck. So anyway, you know, I drove up to get it. It was about 2 hours from where I live in Britain. And I was driving up there expecting to find like a fucking fake or like something that was completely shagged and it hadn't, you know, been as described, because to be fair, the pictures of it weren't the best. But I was just shocked. I was like, it's an absolute minter. Like it is as new. It's got the gig bag. It's even got the limited edition certificate you get from Solar. So, I mean, I am going through treatment for my addiction to flying Vs. I accept I have a problem, but let's be fair, having a collection of wicked flying Vs is, there's worse vices you can have. So that's the story of how I acquired this guitar. And you know, I sort of told myself that I would put this in some unique tuning different to my other 2 flying Vs to sort of justify having it, which I did. It's in Dadgad C sharp, I think. Yeah. So I will play it for you in a minute, but I haven't really had a chance to like jam much in this tuning, so I might hit some bum notes, but never mind. So immediately the first thing I did when I got this guitar was think about changing the pickups. Solar guitars have a licensed Duncan design for their pickups, which they call the Duncan Solar. It's really not to my taste. I understand why they do it. It's a very flat, evenly voiced, medium output pickup. I'm used to something that hits the amp a bit harder up front, so like a higher output, active, even like passive Seymour Duncans. Like all my Solars I've changed the pickups in, basically. So I got to thinking like what would suit this guitar, because when I come to change pickups in the guitar, obviously I want a sound I like, but I also want something that will maintain like the look and the vibe of the guitar. So I did initially think about putting a set of EMG 5766 in, which I fucking love. They're my favourite EMGs out of all of them. I've got a brushed metal set in my other Solo V1.6 that I'll be doing a video on. But I just thought, I don't know, something about this guitar is, you know, like we said, it's like a distressed, rustic, kind of like basic, you know, like it's not, I don't think a set of active pickups with a battery would suit it that much. And so I thought, what's a real like old school pickup I could put in it that's kind of in keeping with like the rustic back to basics feel. And so I went with the Seymour Duncan Dimebucker, which I took a complete punt on because I've never owned a Dimebucker before. So, you know, you can watch like YouTube reviews and YouTube like sound comparisons, and it's never gonna fucking give you an idea of how it sounds in the room. Like, you know, it can give you a rough indication, but pickups are so much a suck it and see thing. You know, like I said, when you watch stuff on YouTube, like not only are you not getting the full picture, you're not getting an idea of how that pickup is going to sound in your guitar. And trust me, there's a massive difference. You know, I've had pickups in certain guitars and fucking hated them, and then I've bought a guitar with the same pickups in and thought it sounded awesome, like loved it. That's been the case with Fishman Fluence recently. I had them in a 6-string, fucking hated them, thought they sounded really harsh, so binned them off. Then I bought an 8-string with Fishman Fluence in, and I fucking loved the sound. So, I mean, that's probably like maybe like a lesson I've learned is if you like or don't like a set of pickups, I wouldn't necessarily be married to that opinion, because you might put them in the guitar and you might love the way they sound. So anyway, I fitted this pickup myself, fucking God help me, because anytime I've tried to fit pickups myself in the past, I've fucked it up and ended up taking it to my tech Phil. Anyway, and you know, whenever I go up there, like he opens the front door with this sort of, right, what have you butchered this time look. So I thought it's only the bridge I'm changing, it's a passive to passive, so let's have a go, right? It wasn't that much work, however, I did need to route the cavity to be bigger, which is fucking bizarre because it's Seymour Duncan. You know, like I said, it's a licensed Duncan design, so I thought it would just be a straight swap, but it wouldn't. So I had to route the cavity to be wider to fit the Duncan, to fit the Dimebucker in, which is like, I know, fucking weird. But anyway, I did it with sandpaper, like fine grit sandpaper, and an engineer's file. And I don't know, routing your own guitar is like, it's a heart and mouth moment because you're worried about fucking up the finish, which I have done in the past on some of my guitars. But it did go quite smoothly, luckily. So I got it in, and whoa, I mean, it sounds fucking disgusting in the best possible way. Let's get some tones going. I mean, it's just it's a fucking chug machine, this thing. It really is. The Dimebucker pickup is like, it's really fucking obnoxious sounding. There's a fuckload of like high mid spike, which is like what I expected, to be honest. It's like that real old school gin fucking, you know, like 6 to 8K just fucking punching you in the head sound, basically. It's got a little bit of that cocked wah sound, just a little bit, which anybody who plays Fisherman Influence Modern, for example, will know. It's really slight though, it's not annoying. I think it really suits this guitar. The neck pickup, the Duncan Solar that I've left in there, is fine for cleans. I only use the neck for cleans. I'm not really a fucking lead player. Like, I like writing songs and I like riffing and all that kind of thing. It's fine, you know, it's okay. It's got a decent amount of clarity. You don't really need face melting levels of output for clean tones, in my opinion. So let's move on to build quality. In my opinion, as somebody who owns, like, I don't know, a couple of them are in the shop at the minute. I've got 5 or 6 Solars, okay, and one of them is affordable. All the others are top of the line. They're all the Artist series or the one point whatever series. Solar are not there yet with build quality, in my opinion. They absolutely nail everybody on feel and playability. Everything from the neck profile to the weight to the balance with things like neck dive, specs and shapes. As far as I know, they're the only company that sell a Explorer 7-string with Evertune at the moment, which is why I bought one. So on that front, they're fucking as good as anybody, if not better. However, all of my Solars are imperfect in terms of build quality, and various things such as paint that chips too easily, fret ends that are either cracked where the actual slot of the fret has gone in, or there's paint marks on the edges of the frets. I mean, the frets are nicely rounded, you know, on all my Solars, but there's nearly always some type of finishing issue with the frets on them. And this one is no different. There's on the 3rd fret, there's a crack starting to appear in the varnish on the edge of the fretboard, where the fret has been slot in, and I'm not sure what's happened. Either the fret's sprouted a little bit, or maybe the finish is not been applied particularly robustly. I don't know. It's a shame, but you know, Solar is a very young company still, and I think they will get there. You know, overall in terms of build quality, I'd say it's about what I would expect from an import guitar. It's not the best I've seen or played in terms of import. You know, a couple of Schecter Elites I've had from Korea have been fucking absolutely perfect. So they still have a ways to go, in my opinion. But that's not me knocking it. You know, it's just me being honest as somebody who's paid my own money for this guitar as I have. You know, just to touch on the Evertune, it's fucking, I haven't tuned this guitar in, I don't remember when I last tuned it, and it's spot on. It might have gone a little bit flat. Me personally, I think the Evertune is unbelievable. Like, I absolutely am a convert, and I think only 2 of my guitars out of 8 don't have it now. That's the end of this roundup on the Solar V1.6 Artist LD. I would love to hear from anybody else who owns this guitar or similar, what your experiences have been in terms of build quality and how you feel about the pickups and everything that come with it. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, help me make some more by chucking me a subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. Take care.